What's up, you guys? All right, so I just finished my Dharma class and I was like, you know what, before I put my PJs, let me just record a short reading. So let's do it, because I received some really good teachings tonight. So let's see what comes through. Love! Getting the Diamond-Hearted Dakini, literally one of the 3 beautiful Buddhist cards. This is like the Enlightened Feminine. This is a Tibetan Buddhist goddess. Okay, we're getting that. Well, I'll go there. Let me pull the cards first. Okay, Freya, once again, the goddess of discernment. I spend my time wisely. I only say yes when it's a holy hell yes. The Diamond-Hearted Dakini says, I see the light in my own darkness. I face my ego beliefs to feel free. Diamond-Hearted Dakini. We're literally studying the Diamond Cutter Sutra. That's what we're into this course. Okay, so she's coming up right though, which I love. See, I knew I was supposed to record a reading tonight. And then we've got Kuan Yin underneath, the goddess of compassion. Again, very Buddhist. I recognize suffering in order to release it. Curiosity breeds compassion. She was in the reverse. Okay, let me get a few tarot cards here. Let's see. What do we need to know? Okay, I'm getting a lot of Pentacles cards. Oh man, this card will not quit. This 4 of Cups will not quit. Who needs to open the hell up? I'm going to clarify this because this card has come up almost, I think, every single reading. Do you just see the posture? Do you see his posture in this card? He's looking at these other 3 cups and the universe is like, here's a blessing, and he's not even turning his head. Let's see. Why? This could be you. This could be somebody else. Let's see. Why does this... What can we do about this? How do we resolve this energy? Because this is just persistent this week. How do we resolve this? Yeah, there's a defensiveness. It's like the self-protection mechanism. It's like, I'm so terrified to experience suffering again in the way that I did before emotionally, that even if what's coming in is a dream come true, or it feels like amazing, or it looks really good, it's like, I don't trust it. But Spirit is like, you've got to let go of this defensiveness, this feeling that everything is out to get you, when it might be out to help you, it might be out to love you, it might be out to change your life. But it's a mindset shift, because right now there's a lot of resistance to receiving something good. There's almost like an allegiance to pain, like an unnatural or unhealthy, or just unconscious, I want to say, allegiance to pain that you can let go. But it does take some, old habits die hard. These things take persistence. You gotta stick with it. That's why I practice, That's why I have teachers. That's why I go to classes. That's why I meditate. Like, I devoted myself to this path because I see people that have had higher realizations than me. And I'm like, yeah, I believe that that's possible. And so it's not fluff. It's like, yeah, I'm living proof. And also I've had realizations over a decade that I had before I even got into Buddhism. And then Buddhism kind of gave me verbiage and languaging for it, because I didn't have words for what I was experiencing. I didn't know. And then later I was like, oh, that's what was happening. Particularly when it comes to compassion and curiosity, breeding compassion from suffering. So anyway, that's what I'm feeling here. It's like you've got to just, the door will open, but if you're blocking your arms, let's get one more. King of Cups reverse. So this represents a person who is deeply, as I said, these are the only 2 Cups cards, you guys. 4 of Cups is the guy with his arms crossed. He's just like, nope, I might want it, but it's probably going to hurt me, so I'm not going to take it. Even though the reality that this person might be experiencing might not be great at all. And it's like this thing coming in could be amazing, could be beautiful, could be magical. And it's like, nope, I don't want to get hurt. So I'm just not going to open up to it. I'm going to create a bunch of stories that this is going to hurt me, or I've got to defend myself at all costs. But this is an old narrative that if you want to experience pleasure and joy and happiness, and if you, even if there is the tiniest speck in you that believes, even if it's microscopic, but it's some speck of you believes that you deserve to be happy, you should really truly hold on to that and water it. Like it's a teeny tiny little poppy seed, but even if it's just that, water it. Because this king of, where are you? Where did he go? Here he is. This king of cups could be an aspect of yourself, or it could be another person. And again, deep, it could be water energy, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. It could just be, you know, a person who is so emotional, so psychic, so in tune, so in love, typically, like a lover, you know. But in the reverse, it's just in the shadow. It's like this distorted emotional energy, which can turn into addictions, and it can turn into obsessive thinking, and it can turn into shadowy emotional energy, right? And so whether this is you, someone else, or you guys are mirroring each other, something's got to give. You know, I keep saying it because the same damn energy keeps coming up in every reading, including this guy. It's like you have to have compassion, though, for people that have experienced this much pain, or whatever is the narrative running currently, that would make us this afraid to open up to love. Because again, if all you've ever experienced when you thought you were opening to love is pain, then you associate any type of maybe hope for love with, oh, eventually it's going to make me suffer, so I'm just going to quit while I'm ahead. Or I'm just going to stay in this other shitty situation, or this other miserable thing, or whatever. I'm just going to like stay where I'm comfortable, even though I'm not happy at all. Because the prospect of opening up again, starting over again, or whatever it is, it's because this guy's not opening up to a new blessing emotionally. So whatever he's sitting there doing, use your imagination, you know, whatever situation that you're in, you're not happy in it because your arms are also crossed. It's kind of like you're discontent, but also not open. So if this is a person in your life, and it's not you, if you're like, no, I'm not doing that, I would ask you to dig deeper about, because every relationship is a mirror. This is showing up over and over again. I do a lot of my own self-inquiry, right? Like I understand that if I keep seeing a pattern in my life, the really challenging people, the ones that have really triggered my growth, are like, to me, some of my highest heart teachers. Like those are people who made me wake up to like what could actually happen in life, or what I needed to resolve or heal in myself, or whatever, you know? Listen to those sirens. It's like urgent. It's like you should look at this with some urgency to like water that seed of hope that a better reality is possible, that love is possible. But also to have compassion for somebody or yourself, or both, if you are this afraid emotionally to open back up again. If you hold this much fear around letting people in, or being vulnerable, or experiencing intimacy, or whatever it is. Like it says underneath, curiosity breeds compassion. I recognize suffering in order to release it. If you have someone in your life that's chronically suffering, you've really got to look at your own mind and be like, if the world is coming from me and I experience all these people around me in pain, well, guess what? I have pain inside of me too. Well, let me see where I can start to change that. Now, you guys, I've been practicing long enough, before Buddhism, even lots of other things, and I can tell you straight up, with absolute certainty, that people in your world who perhaps were or have been very difficult for you, challenging, they've been really tough for you emotionally, maybe you felt they made you upset, in quotations, you thought they were the ones that were making you upset, that you had nothing to do with it. Like, these people are your teachers. Get curious, you know, because they're not there by accident. Like, you're creating those people. What if, like I said, I've been at this long enough that I have seen people that I used to experience so much resistance with, and now I don't. Or people that I used to think I had so much pain with, and now I feel love for them. I feel compassion for them. Every so often maybe I feel upset, but like really the overarching feeling, the overwhelming feeling is of compassion for these people. I'm telling you that it can change because I know for sure I can say that, because I've been at this for over a decade. So I've definitely seen transformations happen, profound. So if you have someone in your world that's suffering, look at your own suffering and see how you can start to transform it. Even if that means just starting to do more loving things. When you notice a critical thought come up, just start to observe it. Be like, wow, there's one critical thought. How many more of those do I have a day? Start to get curious, not judgmental, not whipping yourself, self-flagellating. Oh my God, I am such a bad person. Now I'm going to use my spiritual practice to beat the shit out of myself. Don't do that. That doesn't serve any purpose. But what you do want to do is start to get curious about what you see out there, especially in your inner circle or in your orbit, how you're co-creating these situations, and that if you are to start to address your own emotional pain or resistance or fear of intimacy or whatever it is, fear of letting people in, thinking everyone's out to get you, then I can almost guarantee you that your world is going to start to shift. Whew, let's move on. It's fine, you know, everything comes for a reason. So with the diamond-hearted Dakini, I see the light in my own darkness. I face my ego beliefs to feel free. We're getting more resistance stuff. It's like there's been a lot of factors, a lot of people involved, a lot of maybe drama, a lot of, like conflict or just conflicting energies. It feels like friction. It feels like too much going on. It feels like a lot of opinions or... Yeah. And then we're getting Two of Wands reversed. There is a need to make a choice. Once again, choice and more choices, because we've got more in this reading. Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, and Two of Wands. You're in between worlds, but you can't stay. I mean, you could try and stay in between worlds forever. But it's saying, I face my ego beliefs to feel free. In this card, one of the wands is chained to the castle wall, and the other one is free. And his hand is on the one that's free, actually. And he's looking in the world, in this globe in his hands, and he's kind of like contemplating his next step. Like, what am I going to do? I'm seeing that there's possibilities out there for me. But it's like he does need to decide, am I going to stay in my comfort zone where this is chained to the wall, and that's where he's standing. But his arm is on the one that's free. Sorry, I'm all fucked up with the camera. His arm is holding the wand that's not chained to the wall. And there's something to be said there. It's like you're halfway there. But this is still reversed. And then we're getting Six of Pentacles reversed. So it could be a financial issue. But remember, it's never just a financial issue. There's more going on at the root of our financial issues. And so in this card, it's about giving and receiving. And one of the greatest teachings is that you give what you get. But you have to give it with a clearer intention and a clearer motivation. Because when we give things, but we're giving it with like a really rigid agenda of what we want back, that's very different than giving more selflessly because it feels good to give, because you're giving from overflow, or you're just like planting, you're just like doing more compassionate, more kind things, and you're starting to feel that kindness grow in you, and then you're like, you know what, today I'm feeling more kind. I'm going to give a little bit of this away. One of my deepest practice is with homeless in my area. It's just my personal practice. It's like something that I work with in my mind, because I think my karma is to live in a city where there's homelessness, you know. Not everybody lives in a city where there's homelessness. Some people live in the country where there's none of that. They don't see it in their way. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist, but it's not in their everyday world. Whereas like I see it a lot. And so it's a practice of mine to, I won't tell you all my different practices, but you know, one of my practices is to always make eye contact and smile, you know. But, you know, sometimes I buy food. Sometimes I don't give a whole lot of money away, but I will buy a meal, buy a coffee, just smile, say hello. I mean, I've experienced more gentleness and kindness from the homeless population, like in my town. Like some of the kindest people I've ever talked to, the most gracious people, were that population of people. I really believe they're teachers. I know it is for me. Not only does it immensely expand my sense of gratitude and abundance of how truly abundant and prosperous that I am, and lucky, not lucky, but I have the karma to do this kind of spiritual work. Not everyone has the luxury to meditate or has a comfortable home or whatever. So when I'm in my practice, I'm dedicating my practice to the people that don't have the luxury to meditate. People be like, meditating is such a pain in the ass. I hate to meditate. And I used to feel the same way. I didn't like it. And now I'm like, wow, how lucky am I that I have the luxury to dedicate time to a spiritual practice. You know how many people in the world don't have time for that? They may never have time for this. So I do it for those people. And I think, what if all my efforts could be in service of the people that don't have this ability to do these things? So when I work with that in my mind of homeless, when I walk by people, I imagine sending them rainbows, roses in my mind, loving energy. Like I said, sometimes it's just an energetic thing I'm doing. Sometimes it's a physical act. But the point is, I work with, that's one of my practices. And I'm saying that because I would have never done that in the past. I don't even think it would have crossed my mind. And I guess I'm just more aware now. I don't know. My karma is changing. I'm not sure. It's a lot of things, but I've noticed that the instinct to be generous is much more readily available now than it used to be. I used to probably think, oh, I only have $5. I can't give it away. And so I would keep it. But it's like, if that is true, we give what we get. You can see that this card is all about giving and receiving. And one person's getting more and the other person's kind of begging. If it's true that you give what you get, then you have to give more freely. But if we have that tendency to hoard, you know, to hold on, to grasp to things, because we don't understand how reality really works. So we think like, well, money comes from this paper that I'm holding, this paper thing that has 100 on it. This is wealth. And yes, money will buy you things in the material realm and in the earthly realm. But it's like, we have to understand that the only reason that we have that paper thing that we call money, and that we're able to spend it and buy things, whatever, is like, we got that through giving. In whenever it was, in this life, in infinite other ones, whatever we believe in past and future lives. My point is, you give what you get, but like, you have to probably change your motivation over time. Organically, this will happen when you practice. Because if the tendency is to grasp and hold on, then it's going to feel hard to give. So then we're probably not getting with ease either. We're not receiving with ease. I hope this is making sense. Okay, so that's what's coming with the diamond-hearted zucchini. To face your ego beliefs is the portal to feeling free mentally. When you start to feel free in your mind, your world will start to open up. Maybe that's when the money drops in. Maybe that's when you finally are able to leave. If you're in a situation where you feel a bit tied down still, or you feel like you're chained a little bit, maybe that's when the option to go can happen. But this is definitely an inner process that's going to create the outer shift. And then over here we're getting, again, Goddess of Discernment, Freya. I spend my time wisely. I only say yes when it's a holy hell yes, and it's in the reverse again. This came up the other day. It's coming with Knight of Pentacles to the Queen of Pentacles, and then juggling Pentacles. All Pentacles over here. So spending your time wisely. Again, this could be a practice, something that you're learning, a lesson you're learning in the material realm. Around your diligence and your devotion, which is a beautiful quality, and that does represent the Knight of Pentacles, diligent, working out a thing, being consistent. And he's like serving this queen almost. He's like giving her a pentacle. it looks like, doesn't it? It's like he's carrying the pentacle and then the Queen of Pentacles is facing him. And I heard like serving your queen. I was like, what does that mean? But it's almost like, I'm going to clarify that. Why was I hearing that? You're definitely, there is something that you need to, there's a decision here. There's some choice that you need to make. But these are in the upright, which is like, they're not in the shadow. So why did I hear that? Serving your queen. I don't know what that is supposed to mean. What are these? What, can we clarify this? Knight and Queen of Pentacles. It felt very positive. I'm just not sure where we're getting at there. Interesting. As I was talking about hoarding before, I was seeing this card in my mind, Four of Pentacles. There is a holding on here. There is a, let's see. There's that Hermit reversed again. Yeah, it's like, okay. Here we go. There's the Tower and then the Fool in reverse. There's a loyalty here, and it's not like it's been bad to serve. Maybe it is a literal woman in your world, or maybe it is like a metaphor of being loyal to something and putting in a ton of time and effort and kind of like wanting it to bear fruit. And maybe you've been giving your pentacle, so to speak, to a person or a situation, but it's not quite giving you the return on your investment. That's kind of the Six of Pentacles reversed. There's an unequal exchange going on with the giving and receiving. She looks very comfortable. You know, Queen of Pentacles is abundant as fuck. She's in her garden of prosperity, you know. This Knight of Pentacles might be very loyal, trying to serve this queen. But there is a holding on energy, and it could be financial reasons. It could be other beliefs like scarcity, or just afraid that there won't be more elsewhere. But you know, as you go a little deeper here, we've got three major arcana cards, which are the only ones in the whole spread today. Hermit reversed is like it's like you're not listening to your intuition, because your intuition is saying when you let go of something, when you stop juggling something, I'm not sure what you're juggling, but it's like you are or have been probably very devoted to a particular situation. Again, I don't know if you've been devoted in your heart, but you might have been devoted with your time and effort, putting a lot of energy into something. There's no Cups cards here, so I'm not saying it's an emotional investment. I'm saying it's like a time investment or energetic. But what I'm feeling is that what really wants to happen is that there needs to be a change. The Tower is a sudden change or realization, a breakthrough, in order to have a new beginning. But there's been a lot of resistance to this, because this energy keeps coming up. Hermit reversed over and over. And Four of Cups over and over again. Even this King of Cups over and over again. It's like same energy, different day. What we resist persists. Some people will be loyal to something their whole life and not feel emotionally content, but because that's where they're comfortable in the devotion to something that doesn't give you an emotional return, but you're used, it's like very martyrdom maybe, like, but they're not reversed. So, you know, I'm not going to go too far into the shadow, but I'm just saying, feeling like you are obligated to serve something or put your energy and time into something, but emotionally you're not content, because we're getting two very like emotionally discontent cards here, and they're the only Cups cards, and they're both like not happy, you know, especially King of Cups reversed. Very unhappy actually. So this is the pattern I'm feeling. It's almost like, yeah, you're here making somebody else maybe feel, I'm not saying they're genuinely comfortable. I'm also not saying that if this is two people that these parties are emotionally happy. But there is some kind of arrangement or loyalty I'm hearing. But it's out of habit is what I want to say. It's like out of habit, and it's out of a fear of a change. And the change wouldn't just be a physical change in the environment necessarily. It's a mindset shift that would require coming out of this depressive, pessimistic, or cynical or just resisting emotional fulfillment. The healthy kind. Not the like dopamine fix of like doing something reckless and impulsive and getting a quick hit and then going back to the pain, but like actually really being like, I'm gonna fucking work on this pattern. Like I'm like, for example, with my meditation practices, like what am I purifying? I am working on 2 things right now. I'm keeping those things private, but like I have 2 areas that I'm working with that are very important for me. So like that's my practice lately. Of course I'm doing other things, but like really that's my practice, and I really want to transform these areas, and so that's what I'm devoted to. And it's like, so you can't bypass it. You have to sit your ass down, and no one's coming to save you. No one can do this kind of work for you, this spiritual work. They can't. Like people can give you guidance and mentorship or, you know, emotional and moral support, but no one can sit down and transform your own mind for you. Only you can do that. And to me, this feels like letting go of ancestral patterning of suffering emotionally in situations where maybe you're very loyal, but it's like, why? It's just a habit, maybe. Let's get just, sorry, they're like howling upstairs. I'm almost done. Let me get one of these. Sweetest taboo in the reverse. Interesting. Who taught you to be ashamed of your own lust? Who told you that there was something dirty about your fantasies? We all have a preferred way we'd like to play, but few of us have cultivated the boldness necessary to embrace what we deem taboo in ourselves. It's saying stepping into a truly holistic form of self-love means glimpsing the bigger picture of your attractions and appetites and embracing it all. Don't let the full potential of your pleasure remain untapped. Identify your suppressed parts and make friends with them. See what I'm saying? Make friends with your suppressed parts. That's why I'm saying the practice here is not necessarily loyalty. Like somebody could be, or you could be very loyal. It's about honoring the one thing or the part of you that terrifies you the most and saying, just because I know how to be loyal to something doesn't mean that I need to suffer for the rest of my life. What if I could be loyal to something that would also provide me fulfillment emotionally? What if I could have it both ways? You can. You can, but you have to create a reality where that's possible. And for that to start, you have to like start the change from the inside out. You also have to be willing to start to make some new choices. A new beginning is available. It keeps coming up over and over, this full reverse, this tower. But it's a deeply embedded pattern, holding on to things that, you know, might be good on paper, but they're not good for your heart. And that's up to you. You know, only you can decide if you want to continue participating in that or not. But you wouldn't want something if it weren't possible. Like you wouldn't crave emotional change, or you wouldn't even feel depressed if you didn't feel like you were missing out on something. So the fact that you know there's contrast here, that there's something that you want that you don't have right now, should be the motivation to go towards what you actually desire. Knowing that you wouldn't want it if it wasn't possible. If what you want, for example, is a reality where you're financially stable and you feel deeply loved and cherished, like the only reason you want it is because it is possible, or you wouldn't want it. The motivation wouldn't be there. We're born with certain proclivities and inclinations and desires for a reason. Not everybody desires the things that we desire. So pay attention to those things, you know? All right, I'm going to end it here. That's it for tonight. I got to go put my pajamas on. Mommy's got to go to bed. If you want a reading, I'm running a flash sale until tomorrow night. The sale ends Halloween night. Readings are half off. I'm offering 60 minutes for $133 for real. If you want a one-to-one, now's the time to grab one, you know? Let's connect, and then you'll get it 50% off. Otherwise, you know, all the rest of the links are below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Love ya.